The LG Procast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views or opinions expressed by the podcast hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect the official position of LG. For the latest and most accurate information about LG products, please consult relevant product manuals and related documentation.
Good afternoon and welcome to LG Procast with Terry Frisenda.
And I'm Phillip Craigbaum, and we are at AHR Convention in Chicago, Illinois, enjoying this beautiful, rainy, cold weather up here. But today with us is Jim Brown from LG. We're going to be discussing some of the energy storage systems that LG is offering. Jim?
Sounds great, Phil. Terry, thank you guys. Wonderful to be here with you at AHR. What a great show. What a huge crowd, despite the weather outside. Everybody's warm and smiling here indoors. It's a fantastic show.
Absolutely has been. So, Jim, why don't you give us just a little bit of a high-level overview of what an energy storage system is?
Sure. Energy storage is an integral part of LG's electrification ecosystem these days. It is essentially a battery for your house. People are familiar with backup generators.
Right.
The battery for the home is the new generator.
So what makes it new and better than a generator? So if I want a generator when my power goes out, what makes this different or better? Or
Sure. Everybody loves to have power when the grid's out, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We all want to live comfortably and safely when the power's out, whether it's, TV, lights, refrigerator, maybe a security system. So the power is important to homeowners when the grid goes out. But compared to a generator, the LG Home 8, we call it the ESS, the Energy Storage System. Very simply, it provides backup power when the grid is down with no noise, no fuel required, essentially, like a generator might require natural gas or propane. And you know what? There's no maintenance.
Jim, would I mount this battery external to my home, or does it go inside? Where I put it?
Fair comment. You know what? When you drive down the street and you do see some of those whole home backup generators, they're sitting outside the house. It's a big brick sitting out there, and, it doesn't go well with the landscaping sometimes. The Home 8 can be installed indoors. Many people prefer to put it in the garage, some in the basement. LG takes safety very seriously. So the LG Home 8 is UL certified for safe installation inside the home. But, Terry, to your point, the enclosures of the Home 8 are NEMA 3R rated, so it can be installed outside if that's what the homeowner prefers.
Gotcha. Well, that's interesting. I don't have to have a propane tank.
Do not
have to have that infrastructure, groundwork, and all that stuff to put in.
Absolutely do not. That's right. That's right. And look, natural gas, these days people tend to prefer that over electricity. That seems to be changing too as the natural gas rates change.
Sure.
But look, now we're talking about an energy storage system, and I know we're going to get to this, but it's powered by the sun, ideally. We'll talk more about that.
Right. So back on the generator, though, generators come on and they power the whole house. Is this going to run my whole home, or is this just going to run, my lights and refrigerator? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, super fair question. Homeowners sometimes are under the impression that they're going to live normally until the power comes back. And even in the world of generators, when we say whole home, is it really?
Right.
It depends what size generator is installed. It depends what specific circuits are chosen to back up. There are small and there are large generators. So I know it's a generic reference, whole home generator, when you see them sitting outside in the landscape. With regard to energy storage, there are a multitude of solutions in terms of scale. So it's a very personalized solution. We want to understand the homeowner's grid experience. What are the outages? When the grid's down, how long is it down? And then, we have that realistic conversation with a homeowner within what do you need when the power's out, and align that with their budget so that we do provide the right solution for them and choose the right circuits to back up when the grid's down.
So, interestingly, I live in Florida, and of course we're prone to hurricanes and floods. My personal home was flooded this last hurricane. A lot of folks that bought whole home generators found out that they use a lot of propane. And they were running a day or two and then called for propane delivery, and guess what? The propane delivery companies have the same issues. Their homes are flooded. Their homes are damaged. No one's delivering propane, so now they're out.
So true. And I understand, Terry, that's a unique use case to the, storm-ridden coastal areas or storm-susceptible coastal areas, but that's a very real scenario. And, you and I talked about it previously, Terry, there's, some terminology in the energy storage world called AC coupled, DC coupled. The LG HomeAid ESS is AC coupled. So what that means is the HomeAid can be installed just with the grid connection or, and very importantly, with solar energy. When the HomeAid is paired with the solar system, either as a new installation or the HomeAid can be added to solar very easily, AC coupled, okay? Now we have an abundant source of fuel, not only to power the home when the grid is down, but also to charge the battery. We don't have to worry about a propane truck rolling.
That's assuming that there's power.
So that extends the usable life of the battery, essentially. If there's an outage for extended period, we're going to have the solar and the battery working together as a team to power that house.
That's exactly right. Solar paired with the HomeAid makes a perfect little power plant for your home. You can generate your own electricity. You can store it for dispatch at night.
So you said a word a while back at scale. How many sizes of batteries does LG offer? Is it one size? Is it several sizes? How do we know what to do?
Sure. The HomeAid is a single product.
Okay.
Only 2 SKUs, and our installer partners love that. It's simple. Easy to warehouse, easy to order, receive, easy to load on the truck.
Right.
So it is a single product, and there are 2 SKUs with this product. The one, the small box, if you will, is the smart energy box. That's the connectivity of the system, the intelligence of the system, and that's where all the electrical connectivity is, okay?
And for our viewers, that's right over your shoulder, since we're sitting at the show here.
Oh, terrific.
That's a little box right above you.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. If the camera angle captures it, that's awesome. That is the small box overhead.
Yep.
And tell me again, what's in that small box?
Yeah, inside, I'd love to take the cover off for you, but they won't let me do it here. So what you're going to see inside that small box, top dead center, is a touch screen. LG knows a thing or two about displays.
We do.
So to make it easier for our installer partners, we put a touch screen in the smart energy box so that the installer can set up, configure, and commission the system right on the screen. No app, no laptop, no internet connection required. They can power it up right through that touch screen.
So to Phillip's question, and you said there's only 2 SKUs. Well, if one's the box, that only leaves the battery as the other SKU. Is that correct?
Exactly. It leaves the battery. And we do refer to that battery as the HomeAid. I know we call the whole system the HomeAid, but we have the smart energy box, which is the intelligence and all the connectivity. And then the HomeAid is the battery, which includes the inverter. Batteries are DC.
Right.
Correct.
The HomeAid is AC coupled. So we bring in that AC juice, we invert it to charge a DC battery, and then we'll invert the DC to bring AC back to the house. Now, that's a singular HomeAid. Scale, Phil, we can stack up to 4 HomeAid batteries with a single smart energy box. The HomeAid is 7.5 kVA AC output continuous.
Okay.
And because the inverter is located in each HomeAid, as you stack, you simply multiply.
Oh.
So we go from a single HomeAid at 7.5 kVA AC output up to 30 kVA continuous output with 4 HomeAid.
All right. And
Fantastic.
back to Phillip and the generator's questions. So obviously the generator guys are saying, hey, I'm selling you a 16 kW generator or a 20 kW generator. Bring me to KVA. What does that mean in the KVA world? So,
Yeah, same. So I'm not the electrical guy.
nor am I.
But Terry, every time I say the HomeAid is 7.5 kW AC output, the smart guys go, Jim, that's KVA.
Okay.
It's another representation, apparently electrically precise representation of 7.5 kW. So you know what? For you and me, kW is close enough.
Yeah.
To compare to the generator solution.
That's what I'm looking for.
Always presented to the homeowner
Consumer.
as KW.
Got it.
That's right.
Which fits in beautifully with our HVAC products. And years ago in a former life, I sold HVAC products and I sold some of those whole home generators. And when you started stacking on air conditioning, if they wanted to run their air conditioning, man, you had to have a really, really large generator because it took so much to start those air conditioners. And one of the beauties of our inverter heat pump systems is that we don't have that inrush current with the LG products. And so it makes it really, really easy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it makes it really, really easy for that battery to start up. And so now, instead of only being able to run my lights and my fridge, I can potentially run my heating system or my cooling system off of my homemade. Is that right?
That is right, Phil. You're right on track. I will say, let me take a quick step back, and I don't want to steal any sales from you, but there are some applications where we have homemade in the field actually powering unitary AC.
Sure.
We always insist on a soft start, very important for those units. Nameplate LRA is what it is, but those motors are aging, they're outside, we have no idea. And more importantly, we don't know what the base load is going to be when that AC comes on.
Right.
So we do have applications where AC is connected, but we're also very transparent with the homeowner about expectations. So it's not the ideal pairing, and that's what plays so well to LG's evolving electrification ecosystem solution for homeowners. Low or no load startup, low load burden on the grid, and then when the grid is down, whether we're powering all of that heating or that LG heating or cooling solution, or we've created a comfort zone for the homeowner or a comfort room in the house.
Right.
That's an ideal solution as well. But again, it depends on the homeowner's grid experience.
So I think what Jim's saying there to you guys is, if we're selling you a multi-zone system, which we're trying to promote these zoning of these homes in our country, maybe that primary suite is the zone that you select to run off the homemade system, which is obviously less than the whole home system. So that makes great sense.
Key point, Terry, you just made, no doubt. And you can select. The homemade allows, through the Smart Energy Box, outputs. There's a backup output, there's a non-backup output. So when that grid is down and the transfer switch throws, only the backup output of the Smart Energy Box has juice. So you're exactly right. We can select what we're going to back up and personalize it for the homeowner's solution.
Well, that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
I wanted to ask you about something that we sort of talked about before we got started here. Going back to generators versus batteries, advantages of one over the other. Tell me a little bit, re-explain to me what you meant by being able to help you on a daily basis. And, it's not only for backup when the grid goes down, am I right?
That's exactly right. There are different modes of operation of the homemade. Many people buy battery backup for that backup purpose when the grid is down. But the utilities do not all function alike.
Right.
There are many that have...
Politically correct.
There are many that have different rate structures. And just to put it simply, there are times of day when there's larger demand on the grid. Some utilities are charging more for that time of use.
Okay.
So the Home8 has a dedicated time of use operating mode: summer, winter, weekday, weekend, and there's 4 time periods that can be configured for that homeowner's utility. And so many homeowners are adding storage either with or even without solar to dispatch energy during the peak period, charge during the low period, energize the house during the high rate period to save money.
So let me make sure that I'm saying this right. In the middle of the afternoon, when I'm paying the most for my electricity, that Home8 is going to start to help supplement what I'm pulling off the grid. So I'm using less electricity from the grid when it's expensive, and then it's going to recharge itself in the middle of the night when my electricity rates are lower.
Well, that's certainly what I heard, but I'll let the
Is that a fair statement?
That's 2 against 1. I think you guys got me outnumbered.
I want to make sure that I'm understanding.
You're right on it.
That is, it's almost one of those things that sound too good to be true.
Yeah, it does, really, right? So,
It does sound too good to be true, but it's real. It works. There's another, Terry, you mentioned where you live there on the Gulf Coast, storm susceptible. The Home8 has another cool operating mode called emergency preparedness, and it interfaces with AccuWeather severe weather alerts. If there is a severe weather alert in your area based on zip code, and you have enabled this mode for the Home8 and chosen those severe weather alerts to be on the lookout for, the Home8 will stop what it's doing and prepare itself to 100% state of charge for that impending severe weather event.
that's incredible.
I actually had that thought. What if it's depleting itself, and then all of a sudden that's when the storm hits? Wow, that's fantastic. So it's going to be ready for it if it needs
Right.
to be there.
Right. And so I've told you about different operating modes and this emergency preparedness. You know, the whole LG family, the one LG, the electrification ecosystem, all of that product and functionality, at least to some degree today and in someday soon in its entirety, will live in the LG ThinQ app.
Right.
Homeowner can see all of their LG devices, various parameters of those devices, but specifically for the Home 8, all that control is in the palm of their hand, right in the ThinQ app. They can set operating mode, they can set reserve state of charge, they can enable the emergency preparedness mode and choose those severe weather alerts. It's all right there. The control's in the palm of their hand.
Yeah, certainly that LG ThinQ app is helping us win more business.
So the homeowner doesn't have to call the contractor back to change those settings. It's right there in their hands.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
That's right.
that's great.
Yeah, for sure. And so you guys mentioned that the camera could see the smart energy box over our heads. Hopefully the camera can see the display on the Home 8, the big box on the bottom. You know, this is a feature that's unique to the Home 8. Consider the storm. Consider your cellular service is knocked out and the internet's down. Now you can't see your system on the app, but you can see it on the front of the Home 8 enclosure. So
just
we
open the
provide
door.
the display. It shows whether solar is up or down. It shows whether the grid is up or down and whether the internet is up or down. Those little icons, green is good, red's bad. The number that you see in a standard operating mode is percent state of charge. So at a glance, the homeowner can see battery's full, battery's 50%, whatever it might be. When the grid goes down, that display changes from percent to hours remaining at current load.
Current load. Okay, so that was
current
the next
load.
question. So
Sure.
They have an idea.
based off what I see, this is how long I'm gonna make it.
Exactly right. Yep. So we provide that
So I can
homeowner
show my
insight.
kids how it'll help when they turn all the lights off when they leave the room. Hey, see guys, we're getting more time.
That's
on this.
exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got an extra 3 minutes on my battery.
Right.
That's right.
Oh,
I love it. Yeah, it's good
so
stuff.
Are you excited about all this stuff, Jim?
Oh, not at all.
No, right?
No. Can you,
He doesn't
can you
care.
tell?
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
It sounds as though Jim's as passionate about
Yeah.
what he does as what we do.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love it. The product has really been embraced fully by our installer partners. I mean, there's a lot of storage choices out there. There really are. It's a very competitive market, but you know, LG is a brand to be reckoned with. LG is a company and a corporation, roots to the 50s to be reckoned with. You know, LG is no stranger to electronics, so we're talking about high quality, robust, reliable performance. Heck yeah, man! I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm a homeowner watching this right now, and I want to put one of these in my house. What's step number one?
Sure. Step one is you can absolutely go to lg.com/ESS and take a look at the product in the homeowner section. Just give you a little overview of the product beyond all that we've revealed here today. And then there you can actually express your interest in the product, and that lead will come to lg.com, and we will be sure to get you in touch with the right people in your area to extend the conversation about exploring your needs, understanding your needs, and proposing the right personalized solution for you.
So we've got some contractors that are partnered with LG that understand this technology in each local market so that we can go and provide that support, right?
Yeah, well, Phil, this is the LG Procast.
Right.
So absolutely, LG has ESS Pro installer partners.
Yes.
And we're developing more all the time where these folks they're the ones that raise their hand and say, I want to work with LG. I want to be part of this journey. And absolutely, we'll put homeowners directly in touch with them to take the next step.
So a lot of people that are watching and listening to our podcast are those contractors. So I'm a contractor now, and I've heard all that you had to say about this, and I go, I want to incorporate this into my offerings. Tell me what the contractors need to do to get in touch with LG.
Sure, there's two paths to that. One is very similar to the homeowner journey. Go to lg.com/ESS, click on the installer link, and there's a form to fill out. It'll come to us and show us your interest in becoming an LG ESS Pro installer. The other way is to drop an email. That's jim.brown, BROWN, at lge.com. Jim.brown at lge.com.
Brown like the color.
Reach out to me, and I'll get you in the right place, no matter what part of the country you're in.
That's awesome. Jim, I've learned a ton.
Wow.
Terry,
Yeah. Incredible.
anything else you want to ask? I mean, he's wrapped it up really nice to me.
I mean, certainly I feel like I could go sell a Home 8 tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's my pleasure. I really appreciate being here, guys. I want to say one more thing, though, because our installer partners are really critical to our success and really critical to the customer, the homeowner experience that LG wants for all of our homeowner customers. There's a team behind this product. It's not just, we do go to market through distribution in B2B sales, but we work very closely with our LG Pro installer partners, from training, pre-sale design support, post-sale design affirmation, and then installation support as well, to make sure everything goes right for that installer and that homeowner the first time. And then if there's a problem, we are there with our tech support on site as needed to make sure we sort things out properly and the homeowner gets moving.
So obviously that brings me to a real quick question or a thought in my mind, and that is, okay, so I've got a service call, and do I have to wait for parts to come from Korea or some other parts? Are we doing something to support this product in the U.S. like we do on the HVAC side and the appliance side?
Yeah, 100% supported in the U.S. We do have parts in country as needed, and sometimes, if necessary, we'll exchange an entire unit if that's the most expedient resolution to the homeowner's concern. And then we have a third party that is highly engaged with LG across multiple products for RMA support as needed.
Another thought's coming to mind. I apologize. So I'm starting to think now about this. All right, so there's some press out there with lithium ion and and safety and reliability. Not reliability so much as safety. Easily to see some of that stuff in the media. What are we doing? This
HomeMate is a lithium ion technology. It is specifically NMC chemistry, nickel, manganese, cobalt. And LG chose this chemistry for energy density, more energy and less space. Homeowners don't want all this stuff all over their wall, like some of our competitors require more boxes for more power and more energy. And so because LG takes safety very seriously, we gave the product to UL, Underwriters Laboratory, and said, here, please show us that we're doing the right thing here by our battery design to enable safe installation in our homeowner's most precious asset, their home. And UL did test the product. The specific certification is 9540 for system safety. That's both boxes. And then UL 9540A is the specific test method for thermal propagation, fire. Okay? And if both of those numbers, UL 9540 and 9540A, are listed on the spec sheet, then UL has deemed the product safe for homeowners' use. Not only did LG go down that path, but we also remind installers and homeowners alike, look around the home. You're surrounded by UL-listed
product
stuff.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So we've just enlisted UL to say, we're on the right path, we're doing the right things, product is safe for installation in the home.
Hey, Jim, thank you very much for coming out today to the LG Procast. Man, we appreciate it. I know personally I learned a bunch, Phillip.
Absolutely, always learning a bunch.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate the opportunity.
I'm sure the folks that are watching this, there's going to be more Procasts coming up, and we want you to go to the LG Air Conditioning Technologies USA YouTube channel. Look for this stuff. We're going to have guests on a regular occurrence, and we're going to try to hit the best and hottest topics in the HVAC market.
Absolutely. And anywhere else that you like to listen to your podcast, go and grab us there. We'd love to see you on the next one, to hear from you, hear your feedback on what they like.
Super. Till then, signing off from Chicago.